Doug.
Here we have the Limu Emu in its natural habitat, helping people customize their car insurance and save hundreds with Liberty Mutual. Fascinating. It's accompanied by his natural ally, Doug.
Limu, is that guy with the binoculars watching us?
Cut the camera. They see us.
Only pay for what you need at libertymutual.com.
Liberty, 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 liberty.
Savings vary. Underwritten by Liberty Mutual Insurance Company and affiliates. Excludes Massachusetts.
Si usas la frase persona precavida vale por dos, the Colgate Total Active Prevention System is for you. Con una pasta dental reformulada, un cepillo de dientes innovador y un enjuague bucal antibacterial diseñados para trabajar juntos y ser 15 veces más eficaces al reducir el crecimiento de bacterias in just 6 weeks, starting from week 1. Compared to a non-antibacterial fluoride toothpaste and flat trim toothbrush, helping you prevent oral health problems like cavities and gingivitis before they start. Cómpralo en shop.colgate.com/total and be dentist ready.
This is Optimal Relationships Daily, Teaching Children Tidy Habits Early On, by Rachel Jones of NourishingMinimalism.com. Responsibility and having to participate in housekeeping is good for children. It helps them feel needed, important, and trusted. It helps them feel like they belong. Setting realistic timelines. Though essential for raising future adults, teaching children to do chores can be exhausting for mom, or whoever the primary caregiver is, if preparation isn't undertaken and unrealistic expectations are in place. Unfortunately, we can't just assign tons of chores to each child and be done. No, we will have to follow through with instruction, patience, and consistency when we require chores. Before outlining all you want the children to do, you need to know how much time you as a parent are willing to commit to, because teaching them to do chores is a commitment. If children aren't accustomed to doing chores, you will need to be vigilant in your guidance. Depending on their age and temperament, they may be excited to help, may complain, or may possibly mope all the way through this task. But it is worth it. Teaching children to do household tasks means when they're older, they won't be paralyzed with certain tasks. Instead, they'll be capable. Chores without charts. There are various ways to implement chores. What I've found that works best in our family is to not have assigned chores, but just to ask people to do what needs to be done. Setting the table, clearing the table, feeding a pet, etc. What that looks like? When we're getting ready to sit down for dinner, I will have one person setting the table, one person helping me take the food to the table, someone else might be cleaning up the toys in the living room. It's really just that I look around and see things that will make our evening more pleasant, and I ask someone to take care of it. Dishes are done during the day by whoever is home with the children, myself or my husband, and the older kids do the dishes and clean the table every evening. The little kids do their personal chores daily: brush teeth, put away clothes, make their bed. We don't have a list for it or a chart. If we have things that need to be done throughout the day, we ask them to do it. Faster than I expected, they started taking care of all of these as needed, without being asked. What that looks like? When the clothes are clean and needing to be folded or put away, I separate them into piles. I call the children from wherever they are and ask them to take care of their clothes. They each have to fold and put away their own. Sometimes I ask them to fold and put away towels, but not always. Deep cleaning weekly chores. On Saturday morning, we talk about the plans for the day, who is doing what, where, etc. And then we set a time that we're all going to clean the house. And this is when we do the deeper cleaning. All the floors are swept and mopped, the bathtub gets scrubbed, the sinks get scrubbed, windows are washed, and surfaces are dusted. Since there are at the moment 7 people in our home, it goes fairly quickly, typically 30 to 45 minutes. Then the kids are free to do their own thing. What this looks like: Saturday morning, we talk about plans for the day, arrange when everyone will be home to clean together. We turn on some loud music, most often dubstep that the olders like, and get to work. Generally, the teens call the bathroom and the kitchen, the little ones clean their own room, while Brian and I clean the living room and dining room and take care of miscellaneous items, like directing young children, taking care of laundry, etc. We didn't always do it this way. I've been a mom for 20 years, and I've tried all sorts of methods. Some have worked better than others, but to be honest, all the different charts or gimmicks only worked for a few days, if we were lucky a few weeks, and then we would have to move on to something else to inspire. Instead, what has worked the best is to build cleaning and tidying up into our normal everyday life, to follow instructions and to be available to help others. It's not a chore chart or a set of rules to follow. It's a rhythm of life. My goal is to teach my children how to live. We take showers on a regular basis because as a person, we need to keep our body clean. In the same way, we take care of things around us because as a person, this is what needs to be done. When children grow up with the belief that we do what needs to be done, it makes the transition to adulthood less overwhelming. Now, granted, each personality is different, and some will do things more readily and others will wait to be nagged, but generally, if it's built into a daily or weekly habit, it will be accepted. Now, I will say that before I learned this myself, I had to follow a routine chart to make sure I did all the things that needed to be done. I didn't know how to keep up on daily chores, so the house was tidy. I had to learn that. And I was in my mid-20s with 3 little ones before I finally started to learn. So, my goal as a parent, among many things, has been to have my children have cleaning habits in place without having to struggle to learn them. Now, lest you think our family is perfect, there have been many mornings when I woke up to find a full sink of dirty dishes because someone put it off and then conveniently forgot. And I've had to use my strict mom voice and let them know that they don't have a choice, they have to contribute in some form. But now and then I catch glimpses of success, like when the garbage leaked as the 17-year-old was taking it out, and he noticed and cleaned the floor without being asked. When my 19-year-old son walked into the kitchen and did the dishes simply because they needed to be done. When the 7 and 9-year-olds take their dirty clothes to the washer without being asked. And when my 2-year-old spills water, gets a rag, and wipes up the spill on his own. It doesn't happen every day, but those glimpses are what keep me going. You just listened to the post titled, Teaching Children Tidy Habits Early On, by Rachel Jones of NourishingMinimalism.com.
AI agents are everywhere, automating tasks and making decisions at machine speed. But agents make mistakes. Just one rogue agent can do big damage before you even notice. Rubrik Agent Cloud is the only platform that helps you monitor agents, set guardrails, and rewind mistakes, so you can unleash agents, not risk. Accelerate your AI transformation at Rubrik.com. That's RUBRIK.com.
'Tis the season for identity theft. This time of year, most of us are checking off our holiday gift lists. But guess what? Identity thieves have lists too, and your personal information might be on them. Protect your identity with LifeLock. LifeLock monitors hundreds of millions of data points every second and alerts you to threats you could miss by yourself, even if you keep an eye on your bank and credit card statements. If your identity is stolen, your own US-based restoration specialist will fix it, guaranteed, or your money back. And all plans are backed by the $1 Million Protection Package. The last thing you want to do this holiday season is face drained accounts, fraudulent loans, or other financial losses from identity theft all alone. Make this season about joy, not identity theft, with LifeLock. Save up to 40% your first year. Call 1-800-LifeLock and use promo code IHEART. Or go to lifelock.com/iHeart for 40% off. Terms apply.
And a big thank you to Rachel for this post, one that definitely provides a lot of hope for parents, I would think. Though I do think my favorite part is the free-flowing nature she brings to teaching her kids about chores. She talks about how she's tried and failed over the years. She talks about how, even though this current approach generally works for her, there are still plenty of those times that it comes up short. So she's right in that this becomes more of a rhythm of life, as she put it. She's unattached to certain outcomes and the rigidity that might come with them, instead focused on making slow and steady progress, having discoveries along the way amidst the inevitable failures. And I feel like that's a pretty steady theme amongst a lot of our parenting posts. So many of our contributing authors do a great job of dispelling the exhaustive mentality about parenting that a lot of parents have, and instead encourage us to release the expectations we might have about our parenting journeys. It's such a big part of life. You know, it's something many of us dream about, something a lot of us place in the center of our lives, causing other areas of life to drop off. And when we arrive at it, it can be difficult to cope with the ways in which we do come up short, not only for our own egos, but also out of the concern for the types of adults we're raising our children to be. But such a big part of treating ourselves and our kids well is being patient with mistake making and the lessons that come with it. Again, something that was certainly on display today. So, with that, it is time to get going for today, everyone. Many thanks to Rachel once again, and of course, thanks to you for being here and sharing this with someone. That always helps and is highly appreciated. Have a great rest of your day, and I'll see you again tomorrow for more ORD. That's where your optimal life awaits.